You deserve to bet on yourself, but no one can make you do it. Either you're interested in being the master of your own fate, or you're content with just living life on the sidelines, waiting for someone to decide when you get to play and when you have to ride the bench. If you're part of the former group, then this video is only going to serve as a reminder of why you should continue to bet on yourself. But if you're part of the latter group, and you believe that the government or the kindness in someone's hearts is going to come and save you, well, hopefully I can get you to make some major changes, because I got news for you. No one is coming to save you. If you don't bet on yourself, someone is going to take you and put you in play for their own schemes and dreams. And when they're done with you, they'll just discard you like you don't even matter, because you no longer are a part of their mission. If you doubt this, nowadays, remember, the longer you're out of job, the less valuable you are to the company. The people who hire you are betting on themselves. Betting on yourself is the fastest way to success. Waiting for the world to give you permission to be great is the slowest way to mediocrity. Now it's time for you to learn how to take control and what you need to do to bet on yourself and start winning big. Betting on yourself removes the illusion of job security. Now, the problem with hitching yourself to someone else's dream or vision is that it transfers all the risk to that person. Now, if you're risk averse, that might seem like a good thing, but you have to remember, in that scenario, you live and die by their success rather than your own. While this feels safe, it comes with a few problems. First and foremost is the obvious one. If they fail, you fail. The difference is that if they fail, they'll fail trying to make something happen, taking risk and betting on themselves. This typically means that they've learned something valuable along the way that couldn't have been learned any other way but ownership of the process. So they're going to be in a better position when things go south. If they don't succeed and you bet on their success, then you have to find another person to bet on, another person to hitch your hopes and dreams to. You'll constantly be drifting from dreamer to dreamer, never striking it out on your own. You'll always be the person looking for jobs rather than the one creating or offering them. You take calculated risk to pursue opportunity. Your mindset changes when you start to bet on yourself. You stop seeing only the downside of risk. You stop seeing opportunities as pure risk where you can only lose, and you start seeing them as speculative risk where you have a chance to win big. People who don't bet on themselves are strictly in the business of minimizing the downside. They're always looking for the safest way to do the least amount. They never go further than their lowest ambitions. When you bet on yourself, you start to see the upside of every option in front of you. You make moves based on the best possible scenarios. Some might see this as blind optimism, but it's anything but that. See, most people are terrified of doing anything where there isn't a guaranteed outcome. The problem is that the most valuable things in life all have some element of uncertainty when it comes to attaining them. You take calculated risk so you can minimize what you can lose, maximize what you can gain. But people who aren't willing to bet on themselves won't even do that. They want the safest path, regardless of what they have to give up, so they're able to stay on it. Performance standards rise in all areas of your life. Betting on yourself means that you raise your standards in every area of your life. When you bet on yourself, you start to see yourself as a company stock. However, unlike stocks that you invest in, you have control over the performance of the company that issues the stock. To succeed, you increase the value of the company that you're investing in. And to do that, you increase your good habits and discard the bad ones. You start to live your life with a level of seriousness, urgency, and diligence that is reserved for those running an entire corporation. You cut off friendships that hurt you, and you cut out bad habits that don't serve you as you get into the habit of betting on yourself. I talk about this change often when I mention how I bet on myself many years ago. Sober, going back to school, enlisting in the military, starting boxing at the age of 22, All of these were little mini bets that I made on myself that ultimately changed the entire course of my life and forced me to raise my standards for what I would do and what I would accept and what I had to discard and get rid of so I could continue moving forward. Betting on yourself makes you see opportunities everywhere. A scarcity mindset is the direct result of you wanting to maintain your current position instead of growing what you have. You're playing the whole game of life to not lose rather than to win. A fixed mindset is a direct result of this scarcity mindset. After all, why bother trying to increase or improve your position in life if everything is already taken care of and your station is fixed? It's because you don't bet on yourself, because if you did, then you realize that you live in a world of endless opportunity, and all that it requires is the willingness to bet on your abilities, talents, and drive. Betting on yourself forces you to develop an uncomfortably close relationship with the truth. This is due to the level of personal responsibility that betting on yourself requires. You don't get to come up with excuses and reasons why your life is the way it is. Either you took care of business or you didn't. This level of control scares most people because this level of control comes with personal responsibility. This is ultimately what betting on yourself comes down to: absolute control over your destiny. I'm convinced that you can't discover your purpose until you take the responsibility necessary to bet on yourself. Until then, you will just be floating adrift. And my favorite reason why you have to bet on yourself is because betting on yourself will improve your intuition. Betting on yourself is the only way to develop your intuition. Intuition is important because to get ahead without it, you're playing with the same information and insights as the common person. However, if you want to get ahead of them, you'll have to compete with people who have honed their intuition. That means they can recognize things before everyone else does, or recognize when the trends are about to change while everyone else is going down one path. Now, sometimes you'll be wrong about your bets, but these are the moments that your intuition provides feedback so that you can get even better the next time. You have to learn to trust your gut, and in doing so, you strengthen the signal that your gut gives you to let you know that something is off, and you increase your trust in it. It's a great feedback system. The more you trust your intuition, the better it becomes. The better it becomes, the more you trust it. But you have to take a risk first and take a chance on being wrong. But this only happens when you act on that intuition, and that only happens when you bet on yourself.